Pastrana 3 spots away on the other side. Here we go to turn number 1, and it looks like Reed, but from the outside, Reed, yes, it looks like Chad Reed with the whole shot.
Travis Pastrana on the inside in second place with Sean Hamlin in third, David Villeman, Michael Byrne coming in there, and Craig Anderson was the rider that Reed was bumping on. So two cousins were banging back and forth in the first turn at Daytona.
Chad Reed and Travis Pastrana at the front of the field right now, but it was the blue bike to turn number 1 first, then second, then first coming off the other side. Here we are. They're still very close together. Travis Pastrana back in third position right now. Chad Reed out in front. We heard him say at the beginning of the show, and we've heard him say all week long how much he wants to win this race that was denied him a year ago.
Yep, Chad Reed wants to win Daytona. It's the most prestigious Supercross out there because of the International Flair Bike Week and everything like that. He's also one of the only riders that will be able to win it on a 125 and a 250. Only that's a very small class. But Travis Pastrana in second place with Sean Hamlin right behind him. I think you're going to see Pastrana be smart. He knows he's got a long race ahead of him. He wants to play it smooth. But also, Chad Reed cannot relax. This track, remember, has been biting people.
Reed, then Pastrana, then Hamlin, 1, 2, 3, and I think Greg White can add to all this.
Oh, absolutely. Chad Reed, he's got a lot of composure. RJ knows about composure. Right before they went out for the race, Chad Reed sat there and he threw me a big yawn and a thumbs up and said, "I'm ready for this, Greg, no problem."
Yeah, Chad Reed, one of those guys that is just the epitome of a racer. His dad told him, you know, if they bleed, you can beat them, and he's out there beating the best in the world right now.
The big loser on this whole start here, not necessarily by choice, but was the number 14, Kevin Windham. He was 9th at the end of the first lap, so he's really got a long way to go. Grant Langston is a couple of spots behind him. The 30 of Craig Anderson is right there with him, and it is Kevin Windham who's fighting his way towards the front. He's up to 8th at the moment, maybe even a little higher than that.
And right in front of him is the Ironman, Mike LaRocco. He has now started his 200th race. Let's see what he can do. He's had a lot of top 5s here at Daytona, but he's never won the Daytona Supercross.
So it is something of a teammate, a fellow Honda rider at least, Kevin Windham chasing Mike LaRocco, who has completed a record 200th start in Supercross, and he just continues going. Ironman Mike LaRocco.
Kevin Windham all over it. Like you say, they are AMSOIL Honda teammates, but you know what? When it's time to go, it's time to go. Both of those guys don't worry about rubbing on each other a little bit. They know they might have to get close, but they're not going to take each other out.
LaRocco holding off Windham for the moment. Reed holding off Pastrana as well up front with Hamlin third, Byrne fourth, Buehleman in fifth. Then it's LaRocco and Windham, the battle we're watching here, and it still goes on. LaRocco in the air, Windham coming up close to him. Can he make a move on this part of the racetrack? He cuts inside but can't get by.
This is one of those times in the race when you're out there like Windham now getting by Mike LaRocco, but Mike LaRocco still stuffing it back on the inside. That's the one thing about LaRocco. You cannot give him an inch because he'll stuff it right back in.
And keep in mind that Kevin Windham is much more embroiled in this championship than LaRocco. LaRocco fourth in points, Windham second. Chad Reed is out in front. LaRocco's losing big points here for the title in the 2004 Supercross.
Well, Windham's looking over to the next track, and he sees how far Reed is out in front. That's one of the things about this race. You know you have so much time and so much pain to endure, but then again, you look over and you see your competition pulling further and further away, and you just think, screw it, I'm going to deal with the pain. I'll deal with the pain later. It's time to charge now.
So out in front, it's Reed. We're watching a lot of really good battles, a little bit deeper in the field. We got an incident.
Michael LaRocco hooking his front brake. What happened there, Brian, was come into the corner, right-hander, and the little knob on the end of the front brake, grab that plastic baggie on that hay bale, and pulls the front brake to stop, and down he goes.
So LaRocco loses the number 6 position to Windham, and Grant Langston is right there behind Mike LaRocco now. So see if Langston can take advantage. There is the number 8 machine of Langston, who was sat down for a race.
Langston, the sole KTM rider out there and past world champion. He's been one of those riders that has shown unbelievable speed, and he's also hit the ground very, very hard. But Grant Langston, a very, very tough competitor from South Africa, so he's going to keep flying.
Langston's best finish 5th in San Francisco for the season. He struggled a little bit here in the 2004 Supercross Series. There's Chad Reed, your leader, on the Yamaha, out in front right now, and unchallenged for the moment anyway by Pastrana, who has kept him close. Only a couple of seconds back. A little bobble by Reed, as Pastrana will be right there to pounce.
You can listen to the power of Chad Reed's bike. He's so patient. He picks his move. I'd say he's the smartest racer out there. Ricky Carmichael was more of a brute force racer that was just charged 100%. Chad Reed, a little more calculated, takes his time. If he doesn't feel right, he'll not jump a double. Ricky Carmichael, anytime it was jumpable, go for it.
Chad Reed's fastest lap, and you just saw it on the bottom of the screen a moment ago, came on the most recent lap. So Chad Reed isn't slowing down. He's getting faster here, only a few laps into this race. And it is a 20-lap event, so we're only about a quarter of the way there. Stay with us, a lot more action to come. Back at the Daytona Supercross by Honda. And watching some battles throughout the field here, the number 12 bike of David Vuillemin. Vuillemin is running in 6th position.
Now just getting past Michael Byrne. Byrne chopping him off a little bit, so these two riders going back and forth.
Yep, Byrne on the 26 bike. Those two are 5th and 6th position. Kevin Windham moved past them both, and that's him disappearing in the distance. He's all the way up to 4th, so Kevin Windham took advantage of a little bobble by Mike LaRocco and was able to get away after battling with him for a while, and he's closing on the leaders. He's getting closer all the time, and he's definitely moved up from 9th place on lap 1 to 4th right now.
Kevin Windham running very, very strong. Also was a very strong finisher in all the Supercross races. So physically, Kevin's ready to go and to keep charging. But two of the guys that we haven't been seeing much of is Travis Pastrana and Sean Hamlin. Both riders running very strong. But Michael Byrne fighting his way back past Vuillemin and now putting about 3 seconds on him.
Chad Reed, our leader, is up into the lap riders right now. Let's go down to Greg White.
Thanks. I'm down here with Ricky Carmichael. We're just hanging out, and I want to ask you, how difficult is it for Chad Reed right now to maintain his mental focus?
Probably not too difficult because Pastrana's still kind of, they're at that breaking point. But when he does get far out, he's probably going to enjoy the moment, So mentally, it is pretty easy. You find other things to do to kind of keep you focused.
How big is it to win Daytona?
Oh, it's the biggest race of the year. It's a single race to win. It's almost like its own little championship.
How excited are you to get back to racing?
Oh, really excited. I was like, man, I would love to just suit up and race this race because I'm so confident here and I love it here. And but hey, it is what it is, and I'm just glad to be here watching at this point.
And we'll go more of you Tuesday, right? On Two Wheel Tuesday.
Heck yeah, I can't reveal too much because we got to have something good for the show.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Watching Chad Reed out in front right now. His record here at Daytona, a winner in the 125, a runner-up to Ricky Carmichael in the 250 race a year ago. So Chad Reed wants very much to win it. We've heard him say it. He's getting it done out there right now. We have finished 7 laps, and only Reed and Pastrana have done so. The rest have yet to cross the finish line.
Travis Pastrana running very, very strong. But he's saving energy. You watch Travis out there, he's got that long 6'3" body, and he's just playing it smooth, playing it very smart. Now we're watching the dice between Mike LaRocco catching up to David Vuillemin. LaRocco's one of those guys that you can set a watch off of. He goes the same lap after lap, and every time in the heat race, his fastest lap is always the end.
All right, Chad Reed out in front, Travis Pastrana in 2nd position. Both of them have been 125 winners. Only Ricky Carmichael has won both the 125 and 250. Kevin Windham closing on 3rd place. Sean Hamlin now. So Windham is completing a very impressive run to the front from 9th place on lap 1.
Kevin Windham keeps charging forward. He's racing for the championship. He's not going to give up. He knows he lost a little ground, but here we can watch him. He's getting in closer and closer to Sean Hamlin, and now he works himself just past him.
Just side by side, Hamlin edges back in front again through this timing section, and Kevin Windham on his number 14 Honda still trying to get it done. That's a 4-stroke bike, and Sean Hamlin is on a 2-stroke, so that could be the difference through that little timing section maybe.
A very impressive run for Windham. He's been working his way up through. He doesn't lose his focus. You watch how smooth he is. He doesn't override the 4-stroke. He's got a lot of composure. Him and Chad Reed are the most composed riders out on the track, and even though he got past Hamlin got back by him, he's still going to keep working it. Just going to keep moving forward.
Great racing and side-by-side action as Sean Hamlin is not willing to give up that position. We should add that they're only about 4 seconds behind, maybe 5 seconds behind Travis Pastrana in 2nd place. So if Kevin Windham continues at the pace that he is right now, he could move up and get another runner-up finish perhaps here today. As good as that would be an incredible run to the front.
Well, definitely, and that's one of the things when you're racing for a championship, you can't give up those points. You know, unfortunately for Kevin, that's the biggest point split between first and seconds is that 3 points, and you hate to give those up week after week, but definitely, if Chad Reed's in first, Kevin Windham has to be in second if he wants a chance at the Supercross championship.
So let's go down for more with Ralph.
Brian, one of the keys for Kevin Windham is the access to Jeff Stanton, another former Honda star who's had great success at this facility. In talking to Jeff earlier today, we were discussing the two rhythm sections at the far ends of this racetrack that are different than they have been here in years past. And RJ, one of the things that Jeff talked about was not over-engineering those rhythm sections. Don't try to triple where you don't need to. Just get yourself through it, but get yourself through it consistently each and every time.
Here's Kevin Windham working his way towards the front, currently running in third position, a position that he has never enjoyed at a finish this season yet. Down 10 laps to go for Chad Reed with about a 20-second advantage over Travis Pastrana. It looked like it was going to be a very close race early on, but Reed is making this one look a lot like a James Bubba Stewart runaway.
Definitely. Reed's been running very strong, a lot like Bubba. Out in front, his biggest worry right now is the track and lap riders. And Pastrana goes down in the rhythm section after the finish line. He goes down. It's off camera right now, but Travis Pastrana goes down and now gets back up in third position.
So Kevin Windham moves up to second, where he has finished so many times to Chad Reed this season by a mistake on the part of Travis Pastrana. But here is Chad Reed out in front. He can't know anything about what's going on behind him. And Chad Reed is just hustling through another timing section. We'll have a look at Travis Pastrana's mishap here in just a moment. And Chad Reed knows nothing of it.
Okay, one of the things that Ralph was talking about is that in this track you can over-engineer it. You can try too much. You know, some of the riders, they always want to try to win by tricks. But let's take a look at Travis Pastrana. He swaps, gets off side to side. He's a little bit loose back and forth. Now the thing swaps. He lands down, loses his foot peg, and down he goes. Travis was able to get up quick, so that's good. Keeps the bike running, keeps rolling. But hey, the Daytona track just bit Travis Pastrana.
Well, Pastrana's been out of competition for a while, and I have to think that there's a little bit of difference there. He almost rolled it over on the front wheel again. And here comes the number 5 of Larocco up behind him and past him, it looks like. And Pastrana seems to have kind of lost his confidence a little bit and maybe even lost his rhythm. Being out of competition so long has to hurt you.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw any stones right now at Travis Pastrana. For him to come out, win a heat race, run second quick in practice to Chad Reed, and then be up in front this whole time, hey, this track beats you up like you can't believe. So Travis Pastrana, my hat is off to him. I think he's gonna come back and shock the world.
Oh, I think we could have a whole cheering section for Travis Pastrana and what he has accomplished out here today. But the fact is, he's just not quite the Travis Pastrana capable of winning this race. Ralph?
Brian, one of the keys is something we talked about a little while back earlier tonight was the fact that this is not a race that is going to be determining the future of Travis Pastrana. He was telling me earlier that, you know, he might still run St. Louis, he might not. This was just a race that they started feeling pretty good about, and so he decided to come run this. The big key for Travis is really focusing on 2005. He might run a bunch more of these Supercrosses this year. He might go a little bit easier at it. One of the things he is going to do is some more car racing. He's got a Porsche Cup race in Malaysia coming up this year. He's got 6 more SCCA Pro Rally races to do. And most importantly, it's prepping himself mentally for 2005. He really felt strong about tonight because he ran 2 20-minute motos and then rode his bicycle 20 miles back to the hotel to prove to Roger DeCosta that, hey, physically, I'm fit. Mentally, I feel good, but we're going to get ourselves back into this racing game and go after it in 2005.
All right, well, Travis Pastrana having a look over at the number 12 of David Vuillemin, and Pastrana losing another spot. But talk about runs to the front. We already chronicled Kevin Windham going from 9th to 2nd. Mike Larocco was 8th about the same time, and he's moved all the way up to 3rd. Past
Hamlin?
Yeah, Hamlin, exactly.
Hamlin, Pastrana, everybody. But you know what, though? We keep watching Travis Pastrana around there. He's out of gas. And when you can box and spar and do everything, but when you get into a fight, you use up energy that you didn't know you have. And so Travis Pastrana is doing a great job. He's still out there. He's still in the game, and he's still in the top 10. So he's running awesome. But Mike Larocco, they don't call him Iron Mike for nothing because he stays in there. He keeps banging away. And he's one of those riders that even though Windham was a little bit quicker, don't count out Mike Larocco. He has a way of finding speed. Right now we're watching Michael Byrne work his way back up. Travis, just a little worse for where.
Oh, and down he goes. Didn't see Byrne on the inside there, and they tangled up a little bit. So Travis Pastrana down on the course. You see the safety workers warning the other riders to go around him. Pastrana's up. The bike is running. He remounts and continues.
We saw Nathan Ramsey, Nick Way, and also Sean Hamlin go by Pastrana. Nick Way with a terrible start working his way back up. As we take another look at this, Travis sits down just a little bit tired. Burns squares him up. He just kind of relaxed in the groove, then stuck, then boom, down he goes. When you're at energy like that, it just seems like nothing goes right. In Travis Pastrana's world right now, this is the longest day or the longest moto of his life. But you know what, though? He'll come back strong.
Chad Reed has completed 13 laps. He has led every one of them. And is he on his way to his first 250 Supercross victory at Daytona? We'll see. Reed out in front. He has no one to race, just the course itself, his own fitness, his own determination, focus, and concentration as he comes up behind the 64 of James Pavolny on a Honda two-stroke. Goes right by him.
Yeah, working his way through the crowd. And right now, his biggest threat is the lappers and these ruts out there. But Chad, very, very smart. He knows he's got a big lead. He's not going to take any chances. He doesn't need to impress anybody right now because he already has done that. He's way out in front.
Chad Reed on the number 22 factory Yamaha, a two-stroke machine. Makes his home in Dade City, Florida. Wyndham there with a little bobble, but recovered nicely. Kevin Wyndham running in second position, about 27 seconds behind Reed. So Reed and Wyndham and Reed, that's been the story all 2004 Supercross series. Tonight it's Chad Reed's night again, and Kevin Wyndham may have to settle for second position. There's still a lot of laps to go, though, 6 in fact, and it seems like a long way to the finish line when you look at it like that.
We saw Kevin Wyndham out in front and with a slightly comfortable lead over Travis Pastrana and make a mistake. This track has a way of biting you, so nobody can relax until the checker flag falls. Until you have that Daytona trophy in your hand, you better not relax because this track can come back to bite you.
Alongside and past the number 30 bike right now goes Kevin Wyndham. It's Craig Anderson that he just passed and put a lap down. We should add that Chad Reed, there's the mistake, and Pastrana's right behind him. Chad Reed down.
Chad Reed lapping Travis Pastrana and then making a small mistake. It was just off camera, but we saw him go down, pick himself back up. Like I said, you can't relax on this track. It'll bite you.
So Pastrana looked like he was right there, but in fact, you're right. He lapped him. We'll take another look at it here. Chad Reed, just a momentary lapse.
Well, he just comes across the inside, loses his footing, and goes down in a very, very high-speed area. So, luckily for Chad, he did not hit harder than that. But, just came in, lost his footing a little bit, missed his peg, and down he goes.
And luckily for him, he had such a big lead that he didn't lose a position. In fact, barely lost any of the lead that he had built up over the first 14 laps.
You watch how this track just gets so rough and so brutal on the riders and the machines. You try to set your bike up to do all these different things, and it's almost impossible because it's not like a typical sand track. You have that layer of grass, so it gets a sharp edge, and the bumps become almost negative, so that they want to deflect this. It's rare you see bikes swap anymore, but you see it at Daytona because of the grass warps.
Chad Reed still working it. Still showing great form. Back to Mike LaRocco on the number 5 bike, running in third position. Iron Mike in his 200 Supercross start is going to stand on the box if things stay the way they are.
This guy's a stud. I mean, I've watched him win 500 championships, 250s. I mean, the guy just keeps going and going. And now he's one of them guys like John Dowd that gets better in some cases with age. We're still working on those starts, but you got to take your hat off to this man. He is one strong man. He's now he's 11 seconds behind Kevin Wyndham, but this race isn't over.
Mike LaRocco on the 5 bike right there, where each rider involved in his own little personal battle had high goals, I'm sure. Each one of them had goals of winning this. Chad Reed is out in front right now. He had one little small mistake. He is inside, 3 laps to go, so he can try to hang on to that 16-second advantage he has over Wyndham. Wyndham was nearly 30 seconds behind him at one point and has closed the gap tremendously.
Chad Reed running very smooth now. It looks like he's just being consistent. He's not trying to break any records, but this is the hardest point of the race. I've been here at Daytona where I've had a big lead, and this is frustrating because the track, you're trying to go fast, but with all these ruts and bumps and grooves and stuff, it's hard. It's like a governor. It keeps you down there. He's down to a 115, and that's his slowest lap of the race.
Well, we should add that he did a 1:19 the previous lap, while Wyndham did a 1:15. So Wyndham's making up some ground on Chad Reed. Take a look here at the 14 bike of Kevin Wyndham, the 4-stroke Honda versus the 2-stroke Yamaha. Is the battle right now, not only for the championship, but here at Daytona as well. We still have 2 laps remaining to decide this one, and as you have already said, anything can happen. Ricky Johnson, sorry,
the other one.
downstairs, yeah. Here's Chad Reed. What do you see in his form now?
Chad Reed just running clean right now, does not making a mistake. He's taking a little extra time as he comes over the jump, wants to land right on the downside so he gets maximum time to set up for each rut. He does not want to over jump anything here at Daytona because it puts you into a really steep faced whoop, or it puts you right into a rut. And if you're off a little bit, we've watched him bite riders all night long. Remember in the 125, Bubba Stewart almost over the bars 2 laps from the end.
All right, Ralph Shaheen, what does it look like from your position?
Well, Brian, I went down and talked to some of the crew guys down here, and they can't seem to pick out exactly what the problem is, but it seems to be exaggerated with Chad Reed's bike under braking.
White flag, final lap for Chad Reed. No matter what it is, he perhaps, and I say perhaps because anything can happen, has enough of an advantage to ride that full lap all the way to the finish line. 1 minute and 15 seconds roughly for Chad Reed to survive and become a Daytona 250 Supercross winner. Second place, Kevin Wyndham, just on the gas, hoping and praying that he can catch Chad Reed on this final lap if anything happens to him.
Right now, Chad knows right where Kevin is at, and he's just taking his time. If we do have a problem with Chad Reed's bike smoking more under braking, more than likely when he fell down, if he went up against a hay bale, he could have melted some of the plastic onto the rotor, and it's just melting off. So maybe the rotor's getting a little hotter, and it's throwing up some smoke. But right now, I think he could go around with no brakes and just roll around, which he's taking his time.
Well, he certainly is taking his time. 1 minute, 17-second lap ago. He's got a 14-second advantage. He can afford to slow down quite a bit more, Chad Reed, and still hang on to win this Daytona Supercross 2004 and extend his points lead in the championship. There's Kevin Wyndham still on the gas.
Yeah, still giving it a go, but as you can see, this track has a way of stealing your momentum. You know, Gary Bailey designs an awesome track, a very rough track, but he also designs it so that it'll get more and more rough, more like an outdoor. So that's what's tricked a lot of guys, and here's Chad Reed.
Chad Reed takes the checkered flag, the fireworks, the celebration by his team. Kevin Wyndham will follow him home in second position. And once again, the 2 main players in the 2004 Supercross Championship are going to finish 1 and 2. Chad Reed obviously he's not, we can't tell if he's hurting or whether he's just emotional. And Greg White is in the area right there. Perhaps we'll get a word with Greg real quick, and we'll find out a little bit more about what's going on with Chad Reed. The crowd is enjoying the celebration by the Yamaha team, and their number 22 rider, the Australian Chad Reed, has become the first international rider in 30 years to win the Daytona Supercross. The man who did it 30 years ago, Pierre Karsmakers, is on hand and watching. So there is the gathering around Chad Reed. It seems as though he just took a moment to kind of gather his thoughts. And Greg White?
Yeah, I'm down here. Chad, what's going on? It was a great win for you. You seem like you're hurting a little bit. What's up?
Yeah, I just had a pretty big crash and just hurt my side and just totally took my breath away, and just I was like struggling to stand up, and this is not a track you need to struggle to stand up on, and it kind of just hit me like right in the side, and just I was kind of dry reaching a little bit, but I'm fine. I got the win, which was what I wanted, and I'm glad to get a mistake out of the way and still be able to win. I want to thank all the guys at Yamaha for giving me a great bike and being able to win, and all the guys at Thor Putts Unlimited, all the guys at Bridgestone, Scott. Everyone did a great job, and I was just lucky that I won because I could have blown that for myself and the team.
Let's get you to the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well, a somewhat subdued Chad Reed said he hurt himself pretty bad. It was a